Hello, hello my lovely friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a journal with me video. Nice and simple. I wanted to get started in my autumn, end of summer autumn junk journal before it got to be autumn. So I have a little bit of catching up to do. But I thought it would be fun to bring you along. So this is the journal that I redid because I made another journal that I didn't really work in, Story of My Life. And so this time we actually are going to really make a concerted effort to fill this journal up before I start my Halloween journal for October. So I had all the best of intentions. And here we started with sort of a collage for August. And we've got, of course, the 8th month. My word for 2024 is freedom. And I just put in some images here. Oh, stitch in time. I was listening to somebody else talk in a video, and they had said something about a stitch in time saves 9. And I was like, God, I haven't heard that in forever. So I found this little graphic just to sort of, again, remind me, because that is what these journals are about, right? They're about memory keeping and, you know, for me anyways, it's more about marking the little things in life as opposed to big, huge events. Those looking back, I like the idea of looking over and thinking, oh yeah, I remember just those little things that really, I don't know, that made your day. You know what I mean? I pulled out a few things to kind of already get me sort of on track, so I knew what I was doing so that I wasn't totally humming and homing along in the process. So we've got some stuff that I've printed out. Now, the one thing I will say is that my aim today is to make a lot of pockets and tuck spots, and I've also printed out things that photos that I've taken with my phone. And I want to fill this page with things that I've purchased that I want to remember that I purchased, you know, sometime July, August. A lot of people keep tags and they keep the actual junk from the purchase themselves. And I have found that for myself, I did that and I just ended up with boxes and boxes and boxes of boxes and tags and receipts and things that I never ended up using. So for now, my part of junk journaling with my purchases is going to be images of things that I've purchased. So we can talk about that a little bit later, about my sort of rethinking the whole what I'm doing with my junk conversation, right? Okay, so let's get right into it, because I have, like I said, I've kind of gone through this. Mentally, I have a pretty good idea of what's going to go where. So let's just get into the good stuff, shall we? So in the interest of keeping things sort of simple and not overwhelming, I decided just to pick out a few things that I wanted to work with. I have a couple smaller book pages. I don't know where I put the other one. Somewhere here. That I've already picked out that I want to try and include. A friend of mine gave me an old yearbook from the 80s, and so I decided to make an envelope, which I think is just actually a hoot. And like I said, I've got some stickers that I've printed off of images that I've taken. I'm going to try really hard this month to work in this journal without doing a lot of printables. Now, I love my printables. You guys know that I sell digitals. I love printables. But I really want to try and concentrate on using actual physical things that I have, because I have a lot of stuff. And I think it would be wise for me to start using some of that stuff up. Oh, here we go. I pulled... for my birthday month, I found this cute little book of all kinds of pasta pictures and recipes, and you guys know how much I love pasta. So I thought this would make a really great pocket. So anyway, so this is what we're doing. I'm going to try and keep it simple in the sense that, you know, not overthinking, not trying to use too many supplies, like kind of just tone down the chaos that is usually in my brain. Now, I have here, I printed out on cardstock, these are the lyrics to Indigo Girls' Closer to Fine. Now, every once in a while, I get a song stuck in my head, and, you know, it just won't go away. And so I always think it's the universe trying to tell me something. Now, I'm not 100% sure what that is, but this song has been going through my mind like, I don't know, it just won't go away. And I have to say, I was never a huge fan of the Indigo Girls. I like their music, but I didn't ever go out and purchase anything of theirs. So it is a little bit weird that this song I mean weeks now, I keep hearing this song in my head. So I thought I'm going to print it out, and then I've got this, and I've already put the two-way tape on it, and I'm going to turn this into two pockets, and then I would just get some index cards or like one of these guest checks, kind of stick it in there, cut that off so it doesn't stick out. But I thought every once in a while I might just write down what I think that, what am I supposed to take away from the lyrics, right, in this song. Oops, sorry. So that was this I wanted to start with the lyrics, because this sort of, I don't want to say it sets the tone necessarily for the whole month of August, but there's something going on in my brain, and I haven't figured out what it is yet. And then we're going to tape this in here. So that's what we're going to get started with. So let me just move this over here. And yeah, I don't know, just one day I just kept hearing this song in my head over and over again. So I Googled it. I Googled the lyrics, and I copied and pasted them in on the computer, and then I watched the video a whole bunch of times, and I just really sat with the lyrics, and I don't know. There's something to it, though, when a song, at least I think, when there's a song that just shows up in your brain, especially a song that you weren't from a band or a singer-songwriter who you're not necessarily, like, it's not a song that's already in your repertoire, right? Okay, so let's see here. Now the question is, am I going to tape it on this side or this side? This side to get started. They have a new documentary out on Netflix, coincidentally, The Indigo Girls. So I'm going to have to make some time and watch that. Because, like I said, I always like their music. I know their hits, so to speak. But I don't know. I was going to say I couldn't tell you much about them, but they do have such a very distinctive harmony. Okay, so let's do that like that. Now let's get out some washi tape, and I think I was gonna say I got this green here. There we go, that looks good. This washi tape is Simple Stories, but I have to say it doesn't, I don't know if I just got a bum roll, but it doesn't have the best stick in the world. So, I was going to mention something about all the junk and the hanging on to the junk in a traditional sort of junk journal kind of way. And I've been thinking a lot about this over the last little while, because it does contribute, in my opinion, to the overwhelm. And I, for the longest time, kept a ton of packaging, a ton of cards and receipts, and And I had all the best of intentions of going in and using this stuff. There, that works. And then at some point I'm going to go in and I'm going to put maybe a quote or something there in that sort of blank spot there. And I will do something on here, but I'm not sure yet what. So we'll come back to that. But I just wanted to get this done. I'll get, hang on, I'm just going to get a... I'm going to go with blue library cards because as we talked about in the color video, blue is I speak. And blue is about communication. So I think blue would be very fitting. Yeah, that's good. I like that, And then we've got this print here poking out. Yeah, that'll be fun. So I had these boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff that I had bought, and I realized, meaning like the packaging, and I didn't want to give it up because I thought this is what you're supposed to do with junk journaling. I'm just going to put that back. And so many other women on YouTube were showing these amazing journals with all of these bits and pieces of packaging that they saved. And I was just, at the end of the day, I didn't feel it the same way that they felt it. So I remember one day just having a bit of I was just overwhelmed enough that I thought, I'm going to just get rid of all this stuff and I'm going to start over and I'm going to start from scratch. And then I got another box or 2 or 3 or 4 filled with packaging. And I was just like, I just am not feeling this. But I do like the idea of recording things that you purchased, and so you can go back and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I got that, and I remember why I got that, or it was fun when I bought that, or whatever kind of emotion or feeling or memory we're trying to invoke, right? So I decided not that long ago that I was going to just cut and paste out photos of things that I bought and then put them in my junk journal this way. So it essentially, it's the same thing. It's just that I'm not overwhelmed with ribbons and boxes and tags. And I just don't have the time or the inclination to really filter through all that stuff. I tend to be a bit of a pack rat at the best of times. And this just made it worse because everything that came into the house, I was like, ooh, that's good. I got to keep that. I got to use that. I need that. And it got out of control. So this is my solution to the problem, because then I can look at it and be like, oh, I remember when I bought this fountain pen, which I haven't used yet, but I am going to do that very soon. And then the gazebo tarp thing, I had to get one of those this year. I bought this orange water bottle because it was orange, and if you watched my last video about color and color therapy, I struggle with the color orange. And as much as I don't like the color orange, I think I need to use the color orange to sort of invoke some of the properties of orange. So I thought a good way of doing that would be to use an orange water bottle. So then when I look at it, it kind of reminds me that I need to not hate the color orange so much. Anyways, that's a different conversation for another day. So these are some of the things that I got. So I got this, decided to go down a young rabbit hole. So I got this very short, meaning thin book to get started. I've been fascinated by Jung for years, but I've never really written anything or read anything that he's written. So that's something I'm going to do in the fall. And I got, because I don't need any more Tim Holtz rubber stamps, but I wanted this set because it was both for Halloween and for Christmas. So I ordered this a couple weeks ago. So I just thought this would be a good page to just fill with the images of things that I bought. So if you're somebody who also struggles with the amount of bins and boxes of junk that you have that you don't know what to do with, but it feels like it's somehow a part of how you're supposed to junk journal, and you need somebody to say it's okay to throw it all out or recycle it, it's okay to start over, get rid of it, clear that space in your basement or in your room or under your table, and just don't feel bad. Go through it maybe, keep some of the little bits and pieces that you really like, that you want to journal with. But seriously, nothing, I mean, we all know this, but clutter, again, this is coming from somebody who loves to have an enormous amount of stuff. But for me, there's stuff and it's organized, and then there's clutter. And clutter messes with my brain in a bad way. So sometimes you really just need to get rid of the stuff and not feel bad about it. Okay, so I need to... Oh, and this Celestial Wonders, this was a book I got on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. This came out not that long ago. And I don't know if I missed when it came out, but I found it. And of course, as somebody who loves the moon and moon phases, I was like, ooh. And it wasn't expensive. I believe at the time it was around $14 or $15 Canadian. So that had to be mine. So maybe if I do this and we put the water bottle. Okay, something. All right, it's just going to be like that. So yeah. So then, of course, you know, I kind of felt like I wasn't doing junk journaling the right way if I wasn't including all of this junk. You know, some people keep tea bags, like the packets for the tea, and you know, some of the stuff that some of these women do on YouTube is amazing with their junk. I'm very envious of what they can do with their junk, but I have a hard time throwing stuff out because I always think, I'll get to it later, right? I'll do it later. I'll use it later. And then I just have to be more realistic with myself about what that means. Like, define later, right? I mean, at some point, this is, you know, a conversation to have is, well, what is my, meaning you, me, whoever, what is my definition of a junk journal? And that, you know, junk journaling is a very broad umbrella term, and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I like it. Okay, now, what I wanted to do here in my brain, I kind of saw it like this, and then this would open up, and we would have some, hang on, let me just move this over here. We would have some hidden journaling tuck spot type thing in there. I love this. So this is 80, I believe 84, grade 11. A friend of mine was like, I've got these old yearbooks and I have no idea what to do with them. But she was like, I don't want to give them to the Goodwill because they're from our city. And she thought it would be weird if somebody saw their high school yearbook at the Goodwill, which I don't disagree with. I was like, oh, I will take those off your hands. Thank you very much. So, yes. So I thought this is going to be a pocket here, again, for some hidden journaling. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to glue just this part of this envelope down because I want to put this underneath here and just use that as a tuck spot there, right? But it's still attached, so we can flip that over there. So last night, because I am organized, I already put the tape, and you guys aren't here to watch me put two-way tape onto paper. Okay, so then put that there. Okay, so now the trick is, so am I going to glue it or am I going to tape it? I think I'm going to glue it. But what I am going to do is, you know what, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do both. should give me the right amount of tucking space. So, yeah, I mean, you know, journaling, junk journaling, in my opinion, junk journaling is a very broad, these days, is a very broad umbrella term. There's this tendency to see other people do things and think that you have to follow and do what they do. You know, maybe not to the letter, of course, because we're all, you know, got our own thing going on. But for the longest time, I really, you know, I was thinking that I had to do things like how I saw everybody else do them. Otherwise, I wasn't doing it correctly. And again, not to say that I don't have my own opinions about things, but there's something very comforting about being able to emulate what we see other people do. Right? Because it's confirmation that we're doing it the quote-unquote right way. And so, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 giant bins full of junk later, I was like, man, you know. Okay, so let's do that there. Let's do that there. Doesn't really matter. Let me just take this 2A tape off. What a junk journal was, what was it going to be for me, to me? Like, what was my interpretation going to be of all of this? And I had to make peace with the fact, like I said earlier, I cannot junk journal in the same way that other people do, because I'll just hang on to way too much junk. For me, my journals more and more are becoming more about memory keeping in this, like I said earlier, about, there we go, I like that. And because this is the pocket, I can actually stick that there. Oh, I like that, okay. And then later I can go in if I want with some washi or something like that. And then we've got this, which flips open like that. And then, oh, hang on. You're like, we can't see. And then this. I might have some Happy Mail maybe that can fit in there. Ooh, look at that from my pen pal Lisa. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's a memory keeping with and about stuff, but in a way that I can manage, in a way that my brain can manage. And the other thing that I struggled with for a long time too was that some people are really very artistic with, like, their journals are art journals, and I had to come to the sad realization that I just don't have that skill set. Like, I'm just not going to be able to do what so many other women do at this stage. Because quite frankly, I just don't know how to use the supplies in the way that they do. So I've sort of given myself a break, and I've been like, you know what? There's no point making myself crazy trying to figure out how to become something that I'm not at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just more like, just let it flow. Try not to pigeonhole myself into a look or a style or something, because I tried that for a while and it was nothing but frustrating, and it really was, I felt like I was sort of letting myself down because I couldn't live up to the comparisons that I made for myself with the work of other people, if that makes sense. Now, this on the other hand, I'm totally loving. I like this. I like these, the red and the turquoise. That's one of my, I don't know, there's something about this here. You know, we've got the food, we've got these two, this I took out of a Coronation Street book, and I just put the white paper on the back. I think that's perfect, just like that. And then I can just put some, whatever I want in behind there. But I kind of like the idea of, I don't know, the traditional housewife with the food. There's just something very, again, very comforting about these two things together for me. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so this is going to stick out a little bit. So we are, I will just say here for the tape. You know, I have to say, the older I get, the more I'm just like, stop giving yourself a hard time. You know, like, it's just not worth it. And I know that it sounds cliche and a little bit corny, but I'm kind of like, you know, let's just see where this goes. I don't want to say like, ooh, it's not the destination, it's the journey. But kind of it is. You know, it shouldn't be forced. You just, you know, as I've said in other videos, I'm a firm believer of listening to your intuition and just going with what feels right. And just do that. And if you like to have boxes and boxes of junk, and like in a traditional sense, and you want to use that stuff, then absolutely. If that lights you up like a Christmas tree, then that's the way you're supposed to journal. If it doesn't, then recycle the stuff and start over. Life is too short to be hanging on to stuff you don't want or don't need. Okay. Now let's see, how are we doing for time? Okay, we're doing all right. I think I'm going to turn this into a tag because I like that idea. Do I need a reinforcement on it? Hang on. Okay, I found these the other day. Speaking of having too much stuff, I opened up a drawer and I was like, oh my God, look at all the goodies in here. Let's see, let's put that so it's... And so I'd found all of these reinforcements. Sometimes, you know, it's just fun to go digging through your own drawers and boxes and see what gems are in there that you forgot about. Okay, so now, because we have the... I was going to say, I don't know if I'm going to like that. Because we have the turquoise of the plate, but this isn't the... Oh yeah, this works. This works. Am I in? I'm in. So, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot believe that next week is September. Like, oh my God. Seriously, I mean... You guys have heard me talk about my neighbor Bob. My neighbor Bob, who's one of my best friends, is 92 years old. And I go and talk to him at least once a week for a good afternoon sit-down chit-chat. And, you know, we talk about this as, you know, he's full of insight, he is, as in his 92 years. And he says, you know, even at his age, he can't believe how fast time goes by. So he's like, you know, you have to make a real effort to slow things down. Okay, so I went and had lunch with my friend Emily a week ago, and she was kind enough to gift me this handmade... Hang on, I can get it for you and show you. She is one of the most talented women I know. Her hand stitching, like, look at this. So she made this by hand. She does almost everything by hand because she says she's not super keen on a sewing machine, which that's a whole other conversation. But she made this. This was a late birthday present. I'm just like, Emily, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know if you can see, but she stitched all the way around the edge of the felt as well. All these teeny tiny stitches. Oh my goodness. So I took a picture of the gift, or sorry, the gift bag and that, and then I just got the business card of the restaurant that we went to, and I thought, this I printed out on sticker paper. This is her little note. I don't know if I'm gonna, I think maybe I will. I think I'll put some washi tape on this, and then this I'm just gonna leave. And I'll put something else underneath that later. So yes, it is September. And it is officially Halloween season at my house. And I have started decorating my Halloween mantle, and weather permitting, September the 9th, our big giant skeleton is going to be going up on the front lawn. And because it takes me over a month to get all the decorating done. We're those people that go full out on our front lawn. You can't even see the grass practically when I'm done. There's so many decorations on there. So to say I'm excited is an understatement. Okay, so I got this gorgeous envelope from my pen pal Sam in Australia. Look at that. Speaking of works of art, it's amazing. So I cut the envelope in half, and again, I'm going to create another page here. And what I decided that I would do is I found this hedgehog paper that I think is adorable, and I'm going to glue this down so that this is going to be a pocket here, because the whole point of doing a lot of this is to create pockets for myself. And then I thought I would create a pocket here so that I could have just something sort of sticking out like that. And then we'll washi tape this in. So let's do that, and I'm going to first... I made a joke about you guys weren't here to watch me put tape on paper, and that's exactly what I'm doing again. So yeah, so we go full on. Last year, we had 540 kids come to the house to trick or treat. And each year it grows, I would say, by around 40 or 50 kids. Now, we've been very, very lucky that we haven't had really bad rainy weather. There, that's going to work. And I think what's happened is people have caught on that we're sort of the Halloween street. So there are three other giant skeletons on the street. We may or may not have started something. Anyways, thankfully, a lot of my neighbors are also happily getting into the Halloween spirit, and they decorate as well. So our street really is this magical Halloween street. If you think about Halloween in the movies, with, you know, tons of kids running around and music, we have fog machines. I got more lights than should be legal. I mean, we go all out, and it's exactly what it's just Halloween mayhem. And the kids love it. I mean, and part of the reason why I start decorating so early is because I got told by some of the mothers a few years ago that it's fun for the kids to watch this sort of presentation of ours unfold. And they had said to me that, you know, not to try and tell me what to do, but they're like, it's really nice that every time we come by, there's something new out. So the kids are looking for, what did Lisa put out on her lawn? And so it's a whole thing, and it's about the build-up for everybody in the neighborhood, right? So yes, we got one of those giant skeletons that you see at Home Depot. And the first year we saw it was COVID, and I really, really wanted it, but with everything going on, I couldn't justify spending all that money on a Halloween decoration, right? Okay. Fantastic. Yes, I'm gonna really like this. And then Sam was kind enough to include this ephemera pack for me, so I'm going to eventually take some of her ephemera and add it here so that it reminds me, of course, of when she sent it. Ooh, that's kind of fun too, but it's not quite deep enough. Okay. Okay, so I got this great page out of a sewing book, and I picked this one because of the brown colors. And I thought it would look nice here. Except I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it. Meaning, I guess I could glue this. It's not super thick to be a tuck spot. But, ooh, that would do nicely. Something like that from Sam. I think I like this idea. So again, I think I'm just going to put some tape along there. And then this I think I'll use as a fold out. I'm going to tape along here. And again, we can have some hidden journaling. Even though this isn't super, it's kind of flimsy paper, I think it'll be okay. So let's... And then what I am thinking sort of in my brain is that not out of this, but I would put a pocket down here, and then we could put something in this pocket, and then this pocket, whatever goes in here, will help hold this down, right? I love it when a plan comes together. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's going to be great. So then we'll just put a thing here. So yeah, so we will finish this together as we go along, but not all at once. My lovely friends, I am going to leave it there for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found something in there that will inspire you for some projects in your own journaling. Somebody is here, but only the tail is making an appearance. So, thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. If you like this video, please give it a little thumbs up. And yeah, as I always say at the end of every video, speak kindly to yourselves, enjoy your journal process, and until the next video and time we spend together, take care, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. Oh, yeah.